Hi, my name is Mary Mitchell. I'm 74, almost 75 years old. I live in Seattle. I am recording with my boss at Providence Mount Saint Vincent, Pam Sipos.
And I'm Pam Sipos. I am 64. I guess I'm Mary's boss, but I like to think of her as a friend.
Well, we're definitely co-creators, and that's why we're here today to talk about the Art and Soul program, which has been a collaboration.
Mary was an intern with us in 2017. I'm the director of spiritual care at the Mount. So part of my job is to provide various forms of spirituality to people. I came to the Mount in 2012 as a new chaplain. Most of my career was with the YMCA as a program director, working with mostly children. So I had a program director background and loved that. So when I was interested in creating some programs that lended themselves to spiritual development.
That's interesting, that link to children, because my background was in children's theater. And I had done programs, especially with kids with special needs and also kids from disadvantaged families. I was used to designing programs that were inclusive.
Yeah, so when Mary came as an intern, basically I told her, you're the one with the transformational leadership degree. Go out there and find out how to transform the Mount. And she came back saying, I think the thing to do would be storytelling. And that was right when Hear Me Now, the Institute of Human Caring, was beginning to partner with StoryCorps. They had a few pilot programs, and I heard that they were looking for another pilot program. And so I called them up, and sure enough, we became a pilot program for Hear Me Now. That was in the summer of 2017. In the meantime, we were trying to come up with other things for Mary to do. And it was actually the same time that Mary started that I was reading a book called The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity. Her basic premise is that creativity leads to spirituality and spirituality leads to creativity. They are one and the same thing, really. She talks about God as the flow, or as a creative energy, or a spiritual electricity, and that we just have to access that. We don't need to understand it, we just have to use it. And it fits right in with working with people with dementia, which we have a lot of people here with dementia. Probably 50% of our residents at this point have some level of memory loss from moderate to severe. So we were really excited about figuring out ways to reach all of our older adults, especially our people with dementia, with this creativity method. And that's why Art and Soul is just a way of naming that creativity that reaches the God in us, soul being the God. We were just really excited about that and began to come up with programs where we could help people with their self-expression. We decided to call it the expressive arts.
Right.
Mary has a background in performing arts, drama, dance, singing, all of those are, well, drama. But, those are the performing arts versus the visual arts. And we really are focused on the performing arts or the expressive arts.
Yeah, it was really great process to look back. So the Hear Me Now was certainly one of the first things. And that ended up attracting a whole lot of volunteers. That turned out to be a wonderful program that many people got a lot of benefit from. And looking at the recordings that I'd done, and so many of those people have passed away, it's so precious that we had the time with them. I mean, even for me as the interviewer, but I can't imagine what it means like for the families who were part of that. That was both inspiring, but it was also a great team building experience for me. And then I think from there, it went to Molly Swain of the foundation wanted a literary arts magazine. And there was a very active writers group at that time. They had all these wonderful writings and beautiful, glossy, beautiful paper with the artwork that the residents were doing. I mean, laid out just beautifully. I mean, the Beacon is really something that the Mount will be very proud of. I can't remember how I found time slips, but time slips is a method of creative group storytelling that was started by Dr. Ann Basting. She's got a MacArthur Genius Award to engage people with dementia in being creative as a group. The person who's leading it, you have a photograph, and then the group, the leader asks one question at a time and then writes on a giant tablet the answer. By putting all those sentences together, you end up with a story about the picture that everybody gets a chance to participate in. They are a riot. You never know. As the leader, you have to completely surrender because you have no control over where these stories are going to go. But all this had to stop during COVID. I just have to mention having done time slips during the winter when the only way to visit with the residents was to be outdoors, talking with one or two of them at the most through plate glass window using iPads. So there was at least a few stories, time slip stories that we did with me in my long underwear and my boots standing outside in January, talking through the window with the iPads. I will never forget doing that. Pam, I have a question for you. Do you think that we've fulfilled our vision?
I think we have a good start on it. I would certainly, where do we go from here? I would love to get some grants, find more people to participate. I'd like to get the word out more.
I'm hopeful that we'll get to participate on a larger scale with this, to meet other people who are working in the same field and do some cross-pollinating.
Well, thank you, Mary, for thinking of this. And it's certainly been a fun 3 years of creating, and it's so inspiring and it's so fun.
Well, thank you, Pam. And thank you for your guidance and support through all of this, because you've been the rock that I've leaned on all this time.
Well, we're a good team. We're a good team.